महादिगंबराय धीमहि तन्नो भैरव प्रचोदयात्। ओम हिंगुळे परम हिंगुळे अमृतरूपिणी तनुशक्तिमन शिवे श्री हिंगुळाय नमः। ओम कामाख्यवरदे देवी नीलपर्वतवासिनी त्वं देवी जगतम्मात्रं योनिमुद्रे नमोस्तुते। Namaskaram. Welcome to yet another video of our Ishtartha Bhairava. Today, the entire topic about one particular swaroopa of the Bhairava, which is very, I can tell, like very rarely been disclosed, even in the traditional Tantric circles. This particular swarupa has very minimal information. You can find it on the internet, and yes, this swarupa is also very famous in few of the places. When we walk through on this particular topic of today's Bhairava swarupa, I want you to just be with me today, because this is about Kilkari Bhairava. So maybe many of them would also already known when we speak about the Kilkar Bhairava. People have already done a aradhana of him, but I want you to notice something, like something we go in this today's topic. At no point today will I ask you to actually simply be and what I say, don't believe it, but I want you to actually feel, because that is the only real test of the tantric truth, what we call as in each swarupas of Bhairava. When you see that as an spiritual entertainment, trust me, you will not be able to know about the swarupas of the Bhairava, because any devis in creation, any devis is connected to Bhairava only. So Bhairava swarupas need to be felt, it need to be experienced. So today we will, with his grace, with Guru's permission, we'll be able to talk about Kilkari Bhairava. First of all, why he is called Kilkar? In many swarupas, our Ishtartha Bhairava is being spoken or said or being recited into a different names of the Bhairava. But why exactly Kilkara? Now, in Sanskrita, names never are decorative. Let me clarify this very clearly. Every name is description of one particular function. So the first question in a tantra ask is very simple: why Kilkar? Kilkar is, the word itself means very very sharp, very sharp, and it can be called as sonic sound, piercing cry. We can call it as just by the hunkar. It is like just by the scream of that particular. It is also can be called a scream. That scream will be so harsh that actually it will be like piercing the ears, where actually the people will be able to, after just by hearing, people will be able to go into the stabdha. They'll go into a stambhana state. The kind of the sound that cut through that particular silence, before you can even understand what made that sound is called Kilkar. And it is not about the Kilkar is not about the sound of a prey. It is not about something has been very so soulfully been heard. It is actually like very older than both we can even understand what it is. Okay, think about this. When you walk into a room and you feel that something is wrong in that particular room, okay, you walk into a room and there are many people and you feel that there is something wrong. Before you see anything or anyone, before you even speak something to anyone around that in particular room, there is a sensation. Every human will feel this. and that vibration in that air and something moving before that you arrive, that is the principle of Kilkara Bhairava. See, he does not arrive after the darkness. He arrives after the moment before it is fully taken into a particular shape. Before you enter into the room, before you speak someone, before you understand or before people understand, you will be able to sense something. That sensation is actually Kilkara. Okay? You will not be able to know what exactly it is. That is not a like something like a bell sound, not like a conch, like Shanku, okay? Not a chant that you build slowly over the time as mantra, Vibhishana. No, this is a sound that does not give a darkness time to settle at all. It does not give you a time at all to think what exactly happened now. You know that many people tell that it is within a fraction of a second everything happened in my life. This is what it is. A divine cry, we can call it as that Kilkar as a divine cry, that subtle realm first, making the ground, I can call it as inhospitable, okay, for whatever should not be there. Let's consider. This is a sound which cannot be understood. It can only be felt. About Kilkar, many people would be knowing this, but let me just tell you, like, take you through once how exactly this Kilkar Bhairava came into existence and how exactly swarupas are being understood. Almost like 5,000 years ago in Indraprastha, like whatever, now we come to the story of the ground of a swarupa of what exactly the history of the Kilkara Bhairava. And this story is not mythological in the ordinary sense. You need to understand very carefully. This is not a mythological story. Every swarupas of the Bhairava, whatever I am sharing in this Bhairava Anugraha, is not about mythological solace to the Bhairava sadhakas or any swarupas of the Devi. They do Aradhana and they want actually some hands-on support or actually like a Raksha to the Bhairava. They do think that actually this particular videos or information is going to help them. No. I have always been telling Sarvam Bhairava Swarupam. Unless you know about the Bhairava, you will not be able to know about anything around you. He is Sampurna. He is a Sampurna in the Guna. Because even 5,000 years old, this was also been told. And it was like, in the ordinary sense or in the map, if you want to understand about his origin, the Indraprastha, where are in Indraprastha is, which in today's present date it is about the Delhi, okay, the capital of the India. The Pandavas has returned and they were trying to establish a dharma after the Yuddha. They came back and they were trying to actually establish a dharma and they were performing a sacred fire rituals, and that something is going very very wrong in that particular ritual was Preta Shakti. There was a Preta Shakti which was always giving an obstacles in that actually divine fire rituals, that unseen disturbance which was happening around them. Beginning to the interface within the fire rituals, when they start, there was something obstacles which was happening. Like when they started the Puja Vidhana with all the Siddha Purushas, also with the Rishimunis, the fire used to flicker, and where they should not, the mantra they were supposed to, the actually fire used to go off. The offering was not getting settled at all, and the atmosphere became very very heavy at that given point of time, and the rituals was not getting completed. They did this for the 3 times. After 3 times they failed. You know, like whenever there is a Pandava, there is a Mahaprabhu, Krishna Paramatma, always there next to them, and that is what the Krishna himself, who see what is happening, was able to tell to the Pandavas, especially to the Bhima. He told, this is the interference is not something that can be driven away from the warriors, 5 warriors, or from the Krishna also, strengthening alone. And you need the force that operates at a different level. Go to Varanasi, go to Bhairava. This is what the instruction was given by Shri Bhagavan Krishna Paramatma to Bhima. Now, this is a very critical instruction given by Bhagavan. But try to understand, even with a Krishna's presence, after a couple of times, for first 2 times, Pandavas thought that they are able to perform it without even getting the support of the Krishna. When the third time when they were able to fail, when Krishna Bhagavan presence was there, then Krishna was able to guide to the Pandavas, especially to the Bhima, what need to be done. This is a very critical instruction which need to be understood. Even Krishna, the full avatar of the Mahavishnu, the master of all kind of strategies, he does not solve his, their problem himself by holding it. He did not do that. He pointed out to the Bhairava. Why? Because certain domains of disruption, the astral interference, or what we call it as the juditions, is only belonging to the one particular swaroopa of the Deva, and that particular Deva is Bhairava. Krishna himself was able to tell this very clearly. Was able to tell even the divine grace works through the appropriated current. I'm using very consciously about this current word because certain swarupas cannot be holded or be disclosed by Sampurna Swarupa also. Here Krishna himself told, go to Bhairava. Bhima himself being the Shiva Swarupa, Kali Swarupa, even in all the Devi, Dashamaha Vidya, in the Shatanamavadi Stotram, we have Devis being recited as Bhima. Here, Bhima himself, Krishna himself, was being asked to go to the Bhairava. Like Bhima was able to travel to the Varanasi. He approached Bhairava with a devotion, like as a warrior, as a Pharisee, as a what we call it as very directly, very sincerely he was able to ground, because once there is information being shared by Bhagavan himself, Pancha Pandavas used to follow it on their notch. They used to follow it as their life mission. Bhima did the same thing. When the Bhairava agreed, he said, I will come with you, but not in the Sampurna Swarupa perspective, but in the stone image. I'll be coming in the Swarupa of the stone. Okay? And carry me back to what I will protect your rituals. When Bhima was able to convey the message, everything, information about this, Bhairava himself very clearly told, I can come with you, but I can come only in the Swarupa of the stone. And that stone, I'm not going to be as in all the 16 Stambhana rituals, or what we call it as Ashtavidya, 8 Mahavidyas. Here, in this particular, he never told that actually I will be very light, very, very potent, where you can carry me in the pocket. No, he was very clear. I will be in the form of a stone. You need to hold me on your back, and you need to take me to the place of the ritual. He did not told where exactly. He told, wherever you are performing your ritual, I'll come there. But the Bhima, mighty Bhima, the Bhima was, about his, always he had a thought that actually he was very powerful, he was very he is actually very, very, he has energy of a 10,000 elephants with him, because he had just fought his fight with the Kauravas, and he had actually, they have already won, and they had already come to the, Pandus had already come to the Indraprastha. Here, it was if the deity himself had decided that the spot where exactly he need to go and go there. It happened in such a way that Bhima was not able to carry or hold the stone image of the Bhairava, and was not able to carry the what we call it as Bhairava's stone, the Shakti of the Bhairava, he was not able to take to the Kurukshetra. Before even all this happened, even he was worried how exactly this needed to be performed, because he was not able to travel even to the Kurukshetra. He was stopped at the Indraprastha. And this is the spot, this is where, like I stay, Bhairava was able to tell this very clearly. And that Bhairava speak very clearly. Bhima thought that actually after keeping it, he again tried to lift it, he tried to pull. No. Bhairava, once he was placed, he was not able to move at all. Bhairava spoke very clearly that these words, entire street of what he is called Kilkara, because he was very clear. I will not travel further, but I will protect your rituals. I will guard this particular bhumi, this particular land, and I will do my duties, like whatever you have been got me to this particular kshetra, I will ensure that actually I am going to take care of those. The divine cry, this Kilkar I am going to do, like a child's cry, and that flies every corner of the house, every corners of eardrums, every corner of the being in that particular kshetra, leaving no dark space untouched. Because Kilkara is somewhat like a Brahmastra. We can call it as nuclear bomb. Once it has been fired for whatever we call it as neutrons and protons, it gets separated and electrons actually get reacted in such a way, it will go for, actually it will bloom almost the kilometers away of the energies surrounding it. Same thing is the Kilkara. Once it has been spoken, Bhairava was very clear. Once I do a Kilkar, once I shout, once I give a divine cry, once I give a sonic sound, the enemies will be able to actually they will be able to die, or they will be able to get into the pieces. And why only here what we need to understand is, this particular, he was able to very clearly convey this to the Bhima, and Bhima left him and actually went back to the Krishna Bhagavan and was able to tell. Bhagavan was very happy, stating that actually, yes, you did very good. Now you all are protected by this particular, and they were able to perform the puja. The place where the stone image was rested in the Indraprastha, this is actually called today, it is a very famous temple in the Delhi, which is called Shri Kilkar Bhairava Temple, Pandava Kilkar Bhairava Temple. It stands today, it's like a backward of, I believe actually it is something near to the Purani Kila or something, what we call it as old fort of the Delhi, it is just near to that. See here, what and when you are arriving at this temple, what we need to understand is, once this particular swaroopa is being seen, this particular swaroopa, or when we call it as the swaroopa's perspective, this particular swaroopa, you are not able to see him as a complete Purna swaroopa, because this is not the full idol. As I already told, this Bhairava does not stand before you as a full human form. What you see is just a head, the two enormous blue eyes out of the white marble, retardant, what we call it as. Here, what we need to understand is, why only the head? Because Kilkara Bhairava does not need any kind of a body to act. He told very clear to the Bhima, okay? His actions is through the cry, through the sonic sound, his divine sound. The head is the seat of that particular sound. Head is the seat of that sound, because Vishuddha is completely active there. Whoever does Aradhana there, actually their Vishuddha chakra is completely Sampurna getting activated. They are getting protected. Unseen energies are protecting them. And the head is where the roar originated in the Vishuddha. The form itself is telling you very clearly, I operate through the vibrations, not through the visible movements. For certain Devis, certain Swarupas, you need a puja, aradhana, vigraha where we need it. But I always tell, Bhairava can be invoked even in the linga, because most of the swarupas of the devatas are in the linga swarupini or linga swarupa. Here, Bhairava is invoked in the form of, he gave a darshana to us in the form of a stone, just a small face, that's it. The temple has, I believe actually, if I recall, this temple has two wings. Okay, one is called the Dudiya Bhairava wing or something called as, actually they offer only the milk there, and in where the softer aspects of the devatas has been, devotees are being asked to do the sadhana, because Bhairava is both Saumya is and also Aghora. He's Farsi as well as he's very soft. He's also Satvika, he's also Tamasika. Here what we need to understand is, people who want to do the Aradhana of him in the Satvika Swarupa, they can offer him a milk. And in the other Kilkar Bhairava wing, where the traditional offering is alcohol, a wine, okay, because he is a Ugra Swarupa there. It is a Tantric Swarupa. What we need to understand here is, there is always a very unique, I have heard from few of the devotees there is also a cow structure in the temple with a unique detailing, like the udhar of the cow function as a water tap. Udhar means the backside of the cow, udhar is actually acts as a tap. Even the architecture of this particular place carries the hidden teachings. Many tantrikas or sadhakas normally go there and do a lot of sadhana to attain certain siddhis and nourishment of that particular shakti to get grabbed into it. Before they enter, they actually go to the Gomata and that and Udhara Swarupa's architecture, they go touch, take that, sprinkle that water and go inside. Same source, inseparable. What we need to understand here is, every Swarupas surrounding the Bhairava Kshetra, wherever you are, it has its own importance. Whichever the temple you go, especially to the Bhairava, each detailing, if you sit and understand and experience, you will get to know what exactly the importance the each structure is being created for. It is not the man-made. Many of them are the divine places or a divine structure which has been placed into, to make sadhakas experience that particular zone. Here in deep Tantra, this particular Swarupa, as I told you, Kilkari Bhairava, from a Mahabharata storyline perspective, this is a storyline. Few of them actually tell this particular Swarupa came before the, what we call it as, the fight or the fight between Pandavas and Kauravas, and few of the stories tell that this is after the Pandavas winning on the Kauravas, and finally they were performing the certain rituals. Again, let's not go into actually why exactly, how exactly at the time. Try to understand, every Swarupas has one something to make us learn. This particular sonic sound of Bhairava is teaching us very clearly, wherever I am, whichever Swarupa I am, you cannot decide. You cannot come and tell me that this is what I needed, this is where I need to come. He will decide. He will decide where exactly he need to come and what is your yogyata. Depending upon your yogyata, he is going to come. Few of them actually, when it comes to the Bhairava sadhana, even in Bhairava Anugraha, many people tell that actually I have done certain mandalas. What is the next I need to do? Let me just very simply, clearly and firmly describe this. We cannot decide. If you think as I am deciding I have completed everything, you are completely wrong. It is your yogyata, it is your readiness to go to the next stage which is going to decide you. Who are you and me to decide all this stuff? I always tell very simple and very clear, don't run, as this is not academic qualifications. This is the energy where you can hold, where you can experience Bhairava. Bhairava is not about the storyline. Bhairava is not about the spiritual solace which I can try to give you. Bhairava is about experience. Bhairava is about the Tattva, the consciousness, and that consciousness should be invoked into your life. You cannot decide that actually I will be deciding that what need to be happening next. one Bijakshara is enough for making you to enlight in this particular life. There is no need of series of sadhana, series of Guru Dikshas, series of what we call it as the invocations, series of information can be shared to you to actually make you aware that actually you decide everything. Let me clearly convey, it is his wish and will which will make you to operate. So please understand, experience Bhairava. Wherever you are being with his grace. He will make you sure what is the next need to be done. So then this Kilkari Bhairava, let's go to the next stage. In Tantra, this has a different story, especially in the Tantra, what we call it as Tantric truth. This is connected to Adya Mahakali, Adi Swarupini, Dashamahavidya Prathama Devi Swarupini, Mahakali, and this particular swarupa, because here we need to understand. Now we go into the deeper information of why exactly he was being called as an Kilkara. Because of the sincere sadhakas, many of the sadhakas actually write one-on-one me. Let me just also tell, the story of the temple is only to the outer layer, to make you to understand how exactly he came into existence. Because many of them actually even come and ask me like, where is the evidence you are trying to give? How exactly you can? Bhairava is not actually something like thesis I can teach you with an evidences. Because here we are not trying to grab any kind of a doctrines. Here we are making him to experience in this particular life. If you are ready to experience this, then only this is the place where you can experience him. Or else it will be one more entertainment video for you. Spiritual entertainment. What matters here is about the Tattva. I am very, very keen this particular as Bhairava Tattva, because the living principle behind every form of the Bhairava matters. So if you have come till here, try to understand, maybe actually there is a certain set of information which you need to know. You need to understand something about how darkness operates in this particular universe. The darkness does not arise all at once. You maybe have, even the science tell the same thing. Even this, it is about the evolution. The darkness is also about the evolution. Okay, it is in this particular swarupa in Kilkari Bhairava. How exactly Adya Kali is this connected here is this particular swarupa is linked to Raktabija Asura. Okay, the Devi this is very clearly been written in Devi Mahatyam. Here, Mahakali is being considered as Adi Swarupini. Okay, even like Raktabija Asura, like every drop wherever it used to fall, he used to get one more spouted or one more swarupa of Raktabija Asura used to come out, because the blood becomes one more new demon. This was graced by Shiva himself. This particular boon was given to that particular Asura by Shiva himself. It happened in such a way that Shumba Nishumba, when they were fighting with the in the Devi Purana, this is very clearly been articulated in Devi Purana. When Shumba Nishumba were able to fight between the Kali, finally after 10,000s of years of fight, finally they were able to lose the battle. And every fear, if not addressed at its particular root, become the 10,000s of fears. Every karmic pattern left unexplained, creating deeper grower. I can call it as once negative seed becomes entire forest. That was actually what the actions which was being done by Raktabijasura after the Shumba Nishumba. When darkness operated like Raktabijasura, multiplying at its own source, like ordinary protection cannot stop it. You can drive away the visible problems in today's world, whatever we see as visible problems, but invisible structures that generates the problem remains as it is. Many people tell, I have been doing this for the multiple years, but I don't know where exactly the problem. I am doing all the rituals, I am doing a sadhana, I am doing every action, but I don't know where exactly the problems are coming into my life, even doing the aradhana of the Devi. This is where Ma enters, she does not fight with the army. She comes with Bhairava himself, because she drinks the blood. Mahakali drinks a blood. If you feel that actually Mahakali, you are doing a Aradhana, is in a Saumya Swarupa, she is going to remove your karmic karmas in such a way that you will not be able to hold your problems at all. You will be, what we call it as actually Bhairava and Mahakali, when they come in together now, they are going to actually break you into the pieces. They are going to make you what you truly you are here for. She drinks a blood, and that blood is of the not only asuric nature of in oneself, but the asuric natures of surrounding. She cuts the multiplications of that particular root. Whatever we feel that actually the problems of the root, she will be able to chop off that. And Bhairava, he enters before even the Ma comes into your life. He breaks the monuments. That monuments, he disturbs the structure of the sustaining that particular darkness. Before even Mahakali fully arise, descend into your life, Bhairava comes and actually he is going to make you tremble in your life, and he is going to actually create havoc in your life. Kilkar Bhairava especially holds this function. In Tantra, it is very clearly, many Tantric informations are very not completely being shared, because his cry is not about the reaction to the darkness. It is a pre-empathetic, rupture which is going to create it. That rupture will be in such a way that you will not be able to understand what exactly happened, but already the destruction has already happened in your life. That's the sonic nature of the Bhairava is all about. It makes the astral ground inhospitable to whatever the seekers is settling there. This is a Shastrika vibrations, meaning it is precise, it is a purposeful, it is not random. It is not a random destruction. It is a divine function which is happening in your life. And that all can happen only with the grace of Kilkari Bhairava. And here his highest teaching. Every swarupas of the Bhairava will teach something to us. In this swarupa also, when many people miss without the Shiva, let me just also tell, Kali form came into existence because she was missing the Shiva Tattva. Shiva Tattva, because I believe you know about the story. When Mahakali had done a samhara of the Shumba Nishumba, and when the Rakta Bijasura came into a picture, all the asuras went to the Rakta Bijasura, and Rakta Bijasura was getting divided. Once the Ma took a chakra, and when she was able to throw on the Rakta Bijasura, when the Rakta of the Rakta Bijasura fell on that battlefield, thousands, lakhs of Rakta Bijasura came into existence to the creation. Because, as I told you, this boon was by Shiva himself. And Ma did a divine strategy here. She told that I am not going to kill any of the asuras now. See, let me just tell you, when Ma comes now, she comes with 3 people. First, it will be Hanuman. The Hanuman will be coming first, telling very clearly, make sure you are getting away, because the destruction is behind me. If she comes, she is going to chop off everyone. She is going to actually eat everyone. She is going to drink everyone. She is going to make every situation unstable. Ma is coming. Hanuman will be telling this very clearly to the people. The first swarupa, before even Ma comes into picture, Hanuman will come. Along with Hanuman, there are Yoginis which are going to come. And that Yoginis are actually screaming, even they are doing Kilkar. They are shouting, and that screaming will be something like, actually, give me the meat, blood to eat. This is what actually that particular situation, how exactly is being showcased. This is very, 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 what we call it as a, a destructive way of swarupas which cannot be even understood. You can only feel that Ma Swarupa in this particular Swarupini. And I always tell this, when Yoginis come along to handle that Yoginis, or we can call it as to govern that Yoginis, to govern the Hanuman, Bhairava will come in Kilkara Swarupa. And Kilkara Swarupa, once he give a sonic sound of a scream, Asuras are vanished, they are burnt. And Ma is also called here. Ma do a very strategy that she just holds the Rakta Bijasura and she puts it in her mouth and actually eat. Danstrara Karala Vadane. Danstrara Karala Vadane is actually the Ugra Swarupa of Ma, where her particular her teeth are so fussy. Just by her look only we will be able to die. You can't even imagine how that particular Swarupa is active. Because Bhairava is actually giving that particular Asuras to the Ma. And this is how actually Ma come into. And once she comes with the Trishula, it is, you can't even imagine how exactly the energy vibes would be. But this particular Swarupa, everyone speaks. But what we need to understand here very clearly is, Mahakali is Shakti. And Shakti is destructive when there is no Shiva. And that's what happened. And Ma, after actually diminishing the Rakta Bijasura, after actually killing the Rakta Bijasura, when she was not able to find any kind of blood, because she was holding the Kapala, and that Kapala was filled by Bhairava himself. In the Kala Bhairava Swarupa perspective, in Kilkara Bhairava Swarupa perspective, he was able to fill that and she was able to drink that blood. When she was not able to find the blood, the entire troop was able to go towards we call it as like Swargaloka. All Devatas immediately got trembled, thinking that actually Ma is coming very furiously now, she is going to drink us, she is going to kill us. What is next to be done? Immediately everyone went to the Shiva, fall on his leg, asking Shiva, please, Mahadeva, please support us. Mahadeva was in his own divine way. He was actually in his yoga japa, yoga nidra. He was actually completely in his divine state. They thought that actually now we cannot go and stop him. But finally they were able to make him aware, and they were able to fell on his leg and they were able to tell, Mahadeva, please support us, that actually Ma is coming towards us to kill us. Because she has already took this Shakti Swarupini and she is coming towards the Swargaloka now. Shiva was a bit confused. She was telling, I asked Parvati to sit next to me, take care of my own support when I am sitting in a sadhana. When I am sitting in a sadhana, she is supposed to sit next to me and support me. Who told her that actually to take that Swarupa? Then Devatas was able to tell Mahadeva, Shumba Nishumba, their actions were so furious and they had all come to ask the support to the Mahadeva, because Vishnu had sent them. Even in Devi Purana very clearly told, Vishnu had sent them, and when actually Shiva was sitting in this Dhyana Swarupa, even they were not able to disturb him. And Ma gave him a abhaya, telling that, don't worry, let's not disturb Shiva, let him continue his dhyana. I will come as whatever the actions Mahadeva need to be carried out, I will come and support you. She went and she took a complete furious Swarupini of Mahakali. Shakti was unstoppable. Immediately, Mahadeva immediately left. He ran, he just slept in the pathway of the Mahakali. When Ma came, when she placed her leg on the Shiva, here she did not keep the leg as if actually she is keeping on the Shiva himself. She was thought that actually there is one one particular asura where she can drink the blood, kill and drink the blood. This is what actually initially she thought. But once she looked down and noticed that actually it was her husband lying on down to her, in the shameful act she was able to open the tongue. Here, whatever you see the iconography of Mahakali standing on the Shiva and her tongue coming so visible where blood is dripping. Here this particular swarupa is a Tantra swarupa. Here Shiva was able to tell very clearly, as this particular swarupa you will be able to do a aradhana from today onwards, because that was the Lajja Swarupini. She was able to open the tongue in the Lajja, not with happiness, not with actually the thirst of blood. It was with the Lajja that actually she has stepped down into the Shiva, her husband himself. See, let me just tell you, when there is a Shakti getting separated from Shiva, she will become very furious. And once Shiva gets separated from the Shakti, he will become Shunya. Shiva Shakti Aikya is the only way where which will be able to bring a harmony in particular life. And this, what we need to understand is, think about like last time you were about to make a decisions that you knew was wrong. There was a moment just before you can even command, there is something inside you sent something like warning, that threatening. The clarity that lasted less than a second before that mind talk you out of it. That is what actually I tell Shiva Shakti Aikya. And this Shakti Aikya is actually called as, and here this is complete activation is what we call it as Bhairava Tattva, moving within you. This is what we need to understand. When, as a sadhakas, we need to understand, when the inner Bhairava truly awakens in the sadhakas, you are feeling it. Hesitations, the kind of the root in the ego and the fear begins to dissolve. Not because you become the fearless or an aggressive sense, but because the illusion, that fear was feeded on the start of that seen clearly, and seen through that cannot sustain themselves. Here false identity begins to collapse. Whoever do a aradhana of the mind, this particular swarupa as well as Bhairava, let me be very clear, the identity will be falling away from you. The story, whatever as I told of both the stories or Tantra stories, is that who you are, the identity built from the accumulation of the patterns, suppressed karmas, borrowed beliefs, parent belief, friends belief, mentor belief, or whosoever called guru belief. It starts to shaken, and that shaken is not comfortable. This is not the supposed to be comfortable, because when Bhairava tears apart the illusion, there is a turbulence, but the turbulence is of the grace. Whoever do the aradhana of the Bhairava, I tell, if you are ready to lose, then only step into the Bhairava sadhana. If you feel that actually you are going to gain something, this is not the gameplay where actually you can do it. You cannot fool the Bhairava or the time himself. Tamasa rises in the sadhaka, and the tamasa rises to the surface in such a way, the old karmic patterns that was hidden from your suppressed karmas, borrowed belief, hidden behind you, will be thrashed. And that is a critical point that separates the sadhakas from someone who simply wants to be protected and who is not turning away from what rises. You let it to be burnt. That inner rupture, what is going to happen to the sadhakas, that sacred disturbance which is going to happen to the one sadhaka's life, that Farsi awakening where everything you thought was solid beginning to reveal in that hollow center, that particular action is nothing but it is the Bhairava Tattva. That is the Kilkara Bhairava himself. The cry which comes out from the sadhaka, why me, at that being time of the destruction, that cry is Kilkara. The cry within you, the awakening is within you. The Ugra grace is already present. It is only need your readiness to receive it. I always tell sadhakas very clearly, you don't need to find Bhairava somewhere else. He is just within you. You need to activate him. And this activation is going to help only when you find that ready to lose. Lose in such a way, you lose all your patterns. Lose all your identities, because it is all your karmic patterns you have brought here. And let me just tell you, who is ready for this particular swarupas? Every sadhakas. So what you close, like many people will text me, DM me telling that who can do Aradhana of that particular swarupa. But let me answer this question before even I get into that stage. Like, this is the question who should sit with after you finish watching this video completely till now. Let me just tell you, you are approaching the Bhairava for the comfort or for the truth. Both are valid, but they led to very different swarupas. Truth is something different, comfort is something different. Comfort, Swarnakarshana Bhairava. But any Bhairava swarupas is going to actually make you discomfort. If you come seeking only the protection from the external problems, I need this, I need that, my life situation problems, Bhairava will protect you, because he has Abhayahasta for everything and everyone. But if you come ready to face what is within you, what karma you have bought, ready to allow the Ugra grace to move through you, and then this particular swarupa like Kilkara begins to reveal themselves who are getting ready. The Ugra swarupa is also a compassion. People will tell, is this a Ugra swarupa? Am I capable to handle this particular swarupa? Let me just tell you, everyone is capable. If you are in this creation now, try to understand. Before you come into this creation, you know that actually you have fought a battle. Lakhs of your own amsha, which was in the mother's womb, you have already fought the fight. And that is the reason why you are here in existence today. The Ugra Swarupa is also a compassion. You are already a fighter. You are already won. It is only the readiness. You need to ready to lose that pattern. When Bhairava tears apart that illusion, that too is a grace. When Kali destroys the ego false throne, that too is a grace. You do not become free by decorating your mind or capturing information in this mind that actually I have grabbed all this information. You become free when the false is burnt. Burning is very, very essential in one's life. The more you take, the more you grab, the more you think that actually I am, the more you are going to be head so heavy that you are going to actually remain here for next 10,000 years. Not in the physical plane, but in your mind. Kilkara Bhairava is not about the deity to keep kept at a distance or admired. He is a tattva to be approached with a humility, with a readiness, with understanding that adhikara must be earned through the sadhana only and not claimed through the enthusiasm alone. And here, if something is need to be understood, some part of you recognize this teaching, recognize itself as a sign. Because Bhairava is not unknown to you. You are remembering not to learn. Some swarupas of the Bhairava protect from outside. But Kilkara Bhairava is a hidden swarupa whose divine cry enters the subtle reclaim first. uttering that particular darkness before that form itself is disoriented. Get ready for this particular swaroopa, because this swaroopa doesn't require any kind of a different type of sadhana. You need to just invoke him, and once you invoke him, he will change your life. And that changes can only happen when you are getting ready. Bhairava is only for the people who are ready from inside. If you think that actually I'm going to gain him, grab him, know him by this, what do you call it as, like academical qualification, after doing one by one after sadhana, you are just losing your time. If you are ready to accept him as what he is, you will be ready to enter into the what we call it as Bhairava Tattva. And Bhairava Tattva is all about Anubhava, all about Bhava. Bhairava can only be experienced. Maybe with this note, we'll conclude this video and we'll come out with one more video of our Ishtartha Guru Bhairava. Om Kalakalaya Vidmahe Kalatitaya Dhimahi Tanno Kala Bhairava Prachodayat. Om Kamakyavarade Devi Neelaparvatavasini Tvam Devi Jagatam Matram Yoni Mudre Namostate. Namaskaram.